It's Michael Crawford here from Mac Photography, and I'm just out for a nice walk in what was a sunny winter's day, and now it's become a rainy winter's day. Anyway, I was just going to do a video to follow up on my report about has sensor technology hit a wall, and the way I'm responding to that. Well, I am responding to that actually, and I've decided to go through the cupboard and clean up a bit, and I'm realizing that there's no real point in chasing the newest and latest cameras these days. There's plenty of bargains to be had, especially the older cameras that are about 3 or 4 years old now. If you get the right one, you could get a bargain and it could really fulfill your needs. Yeah, I'm just going to try and find a spot out of the rain, and then I'll talk to you about that. Alright, I'll find a little bit of shelter here out of the rain, and just wanted to talk about a camera that I'm starting to use, and I'm starting to go back to actually. It's a camera that I've taken some of my best photos with in the past. I was actually surprised when I was going through some of my favourite photos, and I was looking at which camera I took them with, because I've had, you know, way too many cameras in the past, and up came this camera quite often. So what camera is that? Well, it's the Nikon D7100. Okay, now this was a successor to the D7000, of course, and of course it's been superseded now by the Nikon D7200 and also the D7500. 7500 sort of starting a new era of that 7000 series, and a lot of people aren't happy about that, but I can sort of see the direction that Nikon's gone in that. I made a video about that too. But anyway, we're not talking about that. We're going to talk about the D7100. Okay, now this camera is it's a very well made camera. It's got a full magnesium body. It's very strong, it's weather sealed, dust proof. Of course, you don't put it underwater or in overly dusty environments unless you're a damn fool. It can take a battery grip if that's the sort of thing that you like. It's a good battery grip that clips on the bottom of it, and it's got a layout which is very similar to the D750 or the D610. All those series of cameras, they have a very similar layout. If you've used those cameras before, you'll be very familiar with where all the controls are and the menus and how the whole thing works together. So why do I like that camera? Okay, this camera came out, it was a little bit lighter than the D7000, so they actually decreased the body weight. It runs an EL15 battery, which is the same battery that goes in your D600 series, D610, D750, D800, D810, all those sort of high-end Nikon cameras, which is really handy if you've got other cameras, if you want to use this as a backup camera, or even as a primary camera. It's very good. I sort of realised that there's been a bit of talk about how poor the buffer is in this camera, and you know, that's absolutely true. The buffer is just terrible. You're going to get like 5 or 6 raw images in a burst before that thing slows down, and you know, it's not the fastest camera in the whole wide world. This camera shoots about, I think it's around 5 or 6 or 7 frames per second. So basically you're getting a second of shooting. Now in practice, I find that is not a big deal, because actually a second is quite long if you think about like 1001, 1002, okay? If you're capturing action, a lot can happen in a second. But still, I'm sure, you know, there's going to be whingers and whiners, and yeah, it would have been great if it had a bigger buffer. There's no doubt about that, but it doesn't, and if you just learn to work with that limited buffer, you can still get a lot out of it. The good thing about the buffer in the D7100 is that it clears very fast. Relative to other cameras that I've used, it does slow up at that 6th or 7th shot, but the good thing is that within half a second or so, you're good to press that shutter button again, and you can keep clicking away. So it's really clearing out fast. Whereas other cameras with small buffers, they sort of, or even cameras with bigger buffers, say if it had like 12 images in the buffer, I've noticed that they actually can take a long time to clear, which really slows things down, because often the camera just will lock up and it won't do anything during that period. At least with the Nikon, it clears, and as soon as it's cleared, it's ready to go for another shot, which is really great. Alright, I'm just going to get out a piece of paper, which I prepared earlier. I'm going to go over some of the specs for those people who love specs, but I'm sure everybody's capable of really, going to the Nikon website and checking it out. But anyway, just to reiterate on some of the highlights. I'm not going through all the specs of the camera. It's a very full-featured camera, but I'm just going to go over the ones which I think are important. Okay, it's got a 24.1 million pixel DX crop sensor, which means it has quite a compressed area of pixels, which means cropping in is not a big issue. Okay, it's got no optical low pass filter. Okay, so no optical low pass filter, so what the optical low pass filter might do is stop a bit of moire. It sort of blurs the image a touch to take away any moire effects that could be happening. And this one's had that removed, which a lot of the cameras now don't have it, such as D5500, D5600, D7200, D7500, D500, D810 doesn't have it. So a lot of these good cameras don't have it anymore. They've done away with it. They've got the technology now to avoid it, and it's all working well. What else do we have? We've got a Nikon F-mount lens with autofocus couplings and autofocus contacts. You can use the old AFD lenses, which is great because often, those, they're called, a lot of people call them screw drive, because you need the autofocus motor inside the camera body to run those lenses. So the D5000 series, D3000 series do not have the autofocus drive motor, therefore they will not run those lenses. It's got double SD card slots, so two can be used for overflow or backup, and so you can arrange how you want them to be used, whether you want pictures on one, video on the other, raw images on one, JPEGs on the other, or you can just back up both at the same time, so both doing the same thing, so they're fully customizable. So that's a lot of people love to have that feature, although I must admit SD cards, I've never had an issue with them, never had one fail, never lost an image, and I don't believe many people have. I think it's just a bit of paranoia out there. When cameras were first introduced with the dual SD slots and they were promoting it as backup, a lot of people said, hey, yeah, that's great, I can back up my images and everything's going to be safe. yeah, I don't buy into all that hysteria. And basically I would be perfectly comfortable shooting with a single card slot camera, and I don't believe that I'm gonna, you know, lose any images because of that. It's got a 100% viewfinder with a pentaprism, not pentamirror, which is great and clear. It's got an ISO range of native of 100 to 6400, and it can be extended to 25,600, which is really good. So that means that, you know, that's pretty standard for those cameras. The DX cameras, I would not want to use any of them above 6,400. Even at 6,400 you're sort of pushing the boundaries, and you know, you don't really want to be there. I don't really want to be anywhere above 3,200 with a DX crop sensor. A lot of people would say otherwise, but that's just me. Okay, it's got a 51 focus points, including 15 cross type, which are sort of in the middle, going up and down, the cross types. So it's got 15 cross types, which are, you know, the more sensitive type, and then it's got 51 others, which are spread quite well across the frame. It's got a very good autofocus system. It does shoot video. It shoots HD 1080 25p or 30p progressive video, if that's what you're into, although I would not recommend this camera for video, simply because newer cameras have much better codecs and they're just performing so much better in the video department nowadays. Yeah, that's probably the main reason you'd want to buy a newer camera, is to get better video quality. But if you don't shoot video like me, I'm really not shooting video on my DSLRs, and if I was, I would definitely go to Canon, because Canon's got the dual pixel, and you know, just can't beat that. So okay, the screen is a 3.2 inch, nice big screen, very clear, nice 1.2 million dots. It's got in-camera HDR, so it's a very good performing camera, and yeah, I would highly recommend it. I find it shoots very well. I'm going to go and take some shots now, and I think it's stopped raining, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I've just been shooting around the park here, around the College of the Arts. Sun's starting to come out now, although there's a few specks of rain. You can see that the image quality is superb, and you know, the way the camera handles is very nice. I just wanted to take a moment to show you the issue with the buffer. Okay, so what I've got it set on here is continuous high, and so yeah, so I'll just shoot off and show you how long until it runs out. I'll just put it close so that you can hear it. Okay, so you can hear it goes to about 5 and then it stops, okay? But you can see, like, even if the buffer runs out and then I decide to take another shot, you know, you can still keep going. Even when the buffer's full, it still shoots at that sort of speed, which is a pretty good, or a reasonable speed, I would say. Like, I don't think you'd be caught out like doing a wedding or something. Yeah, so you can see what I mean by it doesn't take very long for that buffer to clear out. Alright, looks like the rain's kind of stopped for a little bit, and I'm going to head home and I'm going to sum up this video nice and quickly for you. Let's go through the camera. What we've got is a weather sealed, very strong, very tough, professional style body, able to take you know, a good bashing if you were so inclined to do that to it. Other than that, it's a great performer. It's a Nikon camera that will take any Nikon lens, which is a great benefit because there's a huge range of second-hand lenses out there for this camera. It's also a camera that takes superb photos. Picture quality is first class. The colors, the speed that it focuses, it makes you feel confident that you're going to get the right picture, which is very important when you're taking photos. So yeah, I highly recommend this camera. If this is the sort of camera you're after, then yeah, go for it, I say. Grab yourself one. You can get one for an absolute bargain. If you can find a really good used one, get it, like I did. And yeah, just get out there and take photos with it, because you're going to get superb images with this camera. Alright, I'll catch you next time. See ya.